A very good day to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Money Conversations with Magic Hall. Today, I'd like us to discuss a topic that is mostly spoken about in many communities and especially here in Africa. I would like us to discuss the topic on black tax, and I would like to discuss this topic with a lot of empathy and a lot of understanding due to the nature of the background we find ourselves in. So we will discuss what it is, what are the implications, and how we can navigate black tax. So what is black tax? Black tax is the financial burden that most people, and especially of color, find themselves in when they have to take care of their families financially. And most of the times to the detriment of their own financial stability. So what then are the causes of black tax? What brings about this issue of black tax? Black tax, first of all, is brought about by lack of social safety nets. Social safety nets are societal structures that largely used to support the society, which have since collapsed in most African societies. When we talk about issues of free education, issues of affordable health system, healthcare, issues of support for the elderly people, those structures have since collapsed, and hence some families find themselves having to depend on the relatives that are well off. The other cause of black tax is, I would say, cultural expectations. In most African communities, there is a feeling of that someone is obligated or has the responsibility to take care of the family. Once maybe they start getting an income, and this is largely due to the expectation that the family or the society took care of you, and now it's maybe in quotes payback time. So that cultural expectation makes black tax an issue that is ongoing. The other cause is economic disparities. So you find some communities in the African setup are not well off financially, and hence black tax becomes a way to cope with the financial burdens that most families find themselves in. And so with that, those causes, what are the implications or what are the consequences of black tax? The first consequence is that it leads to financial strain. When an individual has to on and on take care of the family back at home, they are left financially drained or strained, because with on top of their own personal expenses, here is a family, here is a community they still have to take care of. Maybe they have to send money for family expenses like school fees, Medicare, and send other unexpected costs back at home. That leads to financial strain. The other thing that black tax does is that it leads to delayed achievement of financial goals. So you have planned to build your retirement home, you've planned to set aside funds for your retirement, but you're not able to do that because here on the side you expected to do so much to the family that is expecting your support. So that becomes a serious problem when it comes to achieving of your financial goal. The other implication is that it leads to emotional stress. Black tax leads to emotional stress, and it leads to people feeling guilty, as well as they are resentful. Feeling guilty because sometimes you're not able to adequately take care of your family, as well as some people feel resentful because they feel that this family is overburdening them. So those are some of the implications or consequences of black tax. So the question is then, how can we navigate black tax? The first thing is that we need to invest in financial education, because the thing is we have to break the cycle of black tax. Some of us who find themselves in that situation, there's nothing much we can do at this point. And especially I will talk of millennials. If you're a millennial and backwards, we find ourselves in that situation. The people like Gen Zs and Gen Alphas might be safe for now, but as in a situation, there's something we need to do. We have to invest in financial education, where you are educating yourself on financial planning and personal finance. So then the other thing is that you have to set boundaries. When I say set boundaries, it means that you have to set a limitation. You have to have a conversation with your family on the limit. What is your limit? How much can you afford to support without actually leaving yourself vulnerable and not planning for yourself? So that's a conversation that you must have, and you must be candid and honest with yourself. It doesn't mean when you set a limitation, when you set a limit, you're being mean to your family, but you're only trying to break the cycle. Because if you don't set the limit, then the cycle continues on and on and on. The other thing is that you have to build wealth. You have to focus on building wealth and financial stability. The building of wealth will then help with the breaking of the cycle, because then it means your children and your children's children will not have to be dependent on you. Yeah, will not mean that you will not have to be dependent on your children. So you have to focus on building wealth and financial stability. The other thing we can do is that we can build communities of like-minded people where we can seek support and guidance. Sometimes you find yourself in a situation that you have to single-handedly support the family, while you could have maybe sought for support from other family members, or it could be from what are they called? Community-based organizations that maybe support the elderly people, or that offer funding for education, and other NGOs. The other thing you can do in terms of seeking for other alternatives is you can build, maybe start a business for your family that they can then become self-reliant. It could be a business, it could be something like dairy farming, it could be they could do some chicken farming, they could do anything that can support them by selling or offering a service within the communities that they stay in, so that they're not then wholly dependent on you. But most importantly, also learn to seek support from other family members. So ladies and gentlemen, as I said, the conversation about black tax is very complex, and you have to approach it in a very thoughtful way. But I will want to say that taking care of yourself is not selfish. It is essential. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening in. Thank you for subscribing. And I look forward to having the next conversation. Maybe on the comments, you can share with us what's your experience with black tax. if at all you are experiencing it. Thank you so much. I wish you a lovely day.